Welcome back, guys. It's Dr. Tom here. Today we are talking all about shoulder impingement. So what is shoulder impingement? So shoulder impingement is where the space between the acromion and the humeral head become reduced, and the things that lay in that space can start to get compressed. These structures include things such as the subacromial bursa, which the other thing that goes through this area are rotator cuff tendons, and specifically the supraspinatus tendon. And when this starts to getting compressed, and when it starts to get irritated, especially with overhead motions, what you can start to get is fraying, tearing, and all those things that lead to subacromial impingement. And this can include things such as poor posture through the day, shoulders rolling forward, we'll get into this in a little bit, poor scapular movement, so shoulder blade movement. So rotator cuff weakness can be another one. When things are weak in there, the rotator cuff are meant to hold that ball and socket joint into place, and when that's not getting held into place properly and it moves around, that can cause impingement on the structures. And one of the biggest causes of shoulder impingement, and those more acute cases that I see, are people who have been doing repetitive overhead movements. And one of the big ones here is, for those of you who have painted a house, a lot of that overhead movement, it's repetitive, your body isn't used to it. That's where you can start to get the little tears in the rotator cuff, or the subacromial bursa can start to get irritated. So when we talk about the symptoms of shoulder impingement, we are talking about pain and overhead motions. So when you're lifting overhead, you may only get to maybe 90 degrees, maybe 60 degrees, and you start to feel a little bit of ache or jamming or a pinch in the front of the shoulder. The other thing is, at night, a lot of people, when they're laying on that affected side, they can start to get aching. If the bursa is affected, it'll be like a warm, like very sore to sharp pain to touch and very warm at night feeling. Weakness and a loss of shoulder range of motion is another symptom, and a catching or clicking in some cases can be another symptom with presenting shoulder impingement cases. How to test for shoulder impingement yourself? It's very easy. Go straightened arm, and we're going to all the way internally rotate, start to lift from here. And if you do have impingement, it's going to start to pinch. Now, if you're someone that knows that you may have poor posture, you slouch, you're going to come up and it's probably going to pinch earlier. So when you're doing this test, I want to make sure the shoulders are back, you're in good posture. And shoulder impingement is normally about that 90 degrees. You start to get a little bit of pinching, and it won't want to go very, very much above this, because that pain will start to increase. Okay guys, so initially with shoulder impingement, one of the biggest things is we want to avoid activities that aggravate it or make it worse. We need the inflammation and that really angry stage to start to heal before we start. Our exercises can take effect in a positive way. The next 4 exercises will be amazing for you, and you can get into these as soon as possible. Remember the golden rule with exercises: if you feel any pain whatsoever, you stop straight away. Rehab exercises, you're meant to go to the barrier, don't push through it, make sure there is no pain. So let's not waste any more time, guys, and we'll get into it. Let's go. Okay guys, so exercise number 1 is an active range of motion exercise, just designed to get the shoulder moving in the right motions and trying to get a little bit more control. So we're going to start without any weight, and then we can progress. So in 2 to 3 weeks, we can progress to a weight. We're going to have a cushion or a pillow under the shoulder, and then all we're doing here, trying to keep the shoulder, the distance between the ear and the shoulder, at maximum. So squeeze the shoulder blades down from here, everything in good posture, and you're slowly letting that shoulder go into external rotation, keeping everything as slow and controlled as possible, and letting it go into internal. So really make sure as you do these, especially if you do have shoulder impingement, a lot of the time you want to start creeping this shoulder up towards the ear, and we don't want to do that. We also don't want to be locking up this chest, so getting the shoulders sort of coming forward. We want to squeeze the shoulders back into the ground, let the wrists sink to the ground, keeping very good posture, and then slowly coming back from here. So very simple with these. We're just going to start with 2 lots of 10 very slowly, And then in 2 or 3 weeks, what we're gonna do is add a very light weight. This is a 2-pound weight. So we can probably go up to 5 maximum here, but keep this very light. This is just a warm-up exercise. And the same thing, once we add the weight in, we're trying our hardest to squeeze this shoulder back into the ground, keep the distance between the ear and the shoulder at maximum. And with the weight, the same thing. Slow speed, everything's controlled. And we're going for 2 lots of 10 reps. When we talk about shoulder impingement, if you remember, one of the causes can be poor posture. And when we talk about this posture, the posture is often shoulders can be forward, arms are often internally rotated, shoulders elevated, and heads forward. And this can cause the jamming in the shoulders. So what we want to do here, and a lot of the causes of this can be because people have been working on computers, driving, texting, all those bad things. What we want to do is try and release the pecs here so that the shoulders can naturally open up. And then you'll see later on, we'll do some lower trap exercises where that will hold things back into place. So when you're doing shoulder elevation, there's less pinching. So to start off with here, doorway stretch, we're going to go hands down. So keeping the elbows about shoulder height to start off with here. And this is getting one part of the pec tendon. So we're going to step through here, start to feel a stretch. Once we feel the stretch, we're going to apply a 10% effort into the doorway. So we're squeezing our arms forward very lightly. There should be 0 pain. And after 3 seconds of squeezing them through, we're going to take a breath out and sink a little further into the stretch, ensuring there's no pain. So we're just doing 7 reps here. Squeeze the elbows forward, 2, 1, and breathe out, relaxing for 5 seconds. So 7 reps, squeeze forward lightly, and then as you breathe out, let everything relax, switch off, and sink further into the stretch. So after the 7 reps here, guys, we're going to do the same thing, but elevate the hands. And this is going to get a different part of the pec tendon and allow a different part of the shoulder to open up. So from the same thing, 7 reps here, only one round of this. So from here, squeezing the arms forward, and then as you breathe out, sinking further into the stretch. Squeezing the arms forward, lightly. Remember, it's a 5-10% effort. You're not trying to bench press. And good. Relax and squeeze. So make sure you get through that relaxation phase, 5 seconds of letting it relax, using the whole exhale to let everything relax in the front of the shoulders here. All right, guys, let's get on to the next exercise. All right, so from here, guys, we're going to start with our forehead on the ground. Arms are going to be down by our side, palms facing the ground. Now from here, what I want you to do is as you lift your head, keep your chin tucked. I don't want you extending the neck at all. So keeping the chin tucked, lifting a little bit of the chest off the ground, then the main focus of this exercise is to squeeze the shoulders low, and then imagine that you've got a little coin between the shoulder blades, and we're going to start to squeeze that coin down and in towards the spine. So it's lower trap activation. We're holding here for 5 seconds. And then after that 5 seconds, you can relax the shoulder blades, hands on the ground. Head comes down for just 3 seconds. And then the lift again. So chuck the chin, lift the chest, squeeze the shoulders down and in and back. So really open up the chest. Imagine as well, this analogy often helps as well, that you're trying to squeeze each shoulder blade down towards the opposite pocket. So if you had a pocket on each bum cheek, you're trying to squeeze each shoulder blade to that opposite pocket. After the 5 seconds, a little rest. So with these ones here, guys, we're going to go through 2 lots of 6. Keeping the chin tucked, good posture, shoulders low, squeezing back, holding for 5 seconds, and then slowly coming down from there. Lifting, holding, and good. Okay, guys, we'll get into the next exercise. Let's go. Next exercise, we're going to use TheraBand. And with this TheraBand, light to medium is great. So we're going to stand on it. When we're standing on it, we want it to be pretty loose. So especially starting off, we don't want this exercise to be too hard. we're going to go shoulder width feet apart. And then from here, we're going to squeeze. So we're grabbing down. So our hand should be in front of the opposite leg. And then from here, we're squeezing that arm externally all the way around to open up the chest, and then slowly feeding down. As you see, as I come back down, we're going internally. So internal to start off with, palm facing the ground, squeezing up as we rotate around, palm faces as external as possible. So really rotating it out this way, keeping it slow. Now, if your impingement is bad and irritated, this exercise may be a little too much for you. So make sure that if you get up to here and you're feeling pain, avoid this exercise. You can do the other exercises, but this one you may have just to wait a little longer until your either your subacromial bursa or that rotator cuff has healed itself a little more. So with these ones, we're going 2 lots of 10, keeping things very slow, very controlled. The weight, the resistance here shouldn't be too heavy. It's very light resistance. And as we do this, the main focus here is squeezing this shoulder blade back down towards the opposite pocket. So the one we were just doing on the ground, we're trying to keep really good shoulder blade posture. And then as we come back as well, open up the chest, make sure the shoulder doesn't come too high, and slowly back from there. Okay guys, so those were my 4 great exercises. I've got 2 more little things I want you to focus on, and these will really help you. So number 1 is posture. What we want to focus on here is externally rotating the arms, dropping the shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades back, squeezing the head back. This is a posture we want to hold, and the more we get closer to this posture, the less chances our shoulder, as we come up into flexion or abduction, the less we'll feel that pinching and the space will start to open up. So if you're on a computer all day long, what I want you to do on the hour, every hour, is drop the shoulders, externally rotate, squeeze the shoulder blades back and down together, chin tuck, hold the chin back as far as possible, almost giving yourself a double chin. And we're gonna hold this for 30 to 40 seconds. After that 30 to 40 seconds, you can come out for a little rest just for 10 seconds and then just do 1 more round. So 2 lots of 30 to 40 seconds, really activating all those good postural muscles, stretching the bad postural muscles, and really trying to open up the shoulders and develop a little bit more strength through where we want it. Okay guys, and the other one we can do is when the shoulder's very irritated, it feels like it's extremely jammed and everything's compressed in there. These ones are called pendulums, and they're just good for a little bit of relief and gapping and spacing. So all we're doing here, if you've got a box, a chair can work for this one. One arm, or a good arm's going to be straight on the box. The other arm is just hanging as freely as possible. Now using your body, we're not using any muscles in this arm. Using your body, we're just trying to create little pendulums. So you can just get it moving in a circle, and what we want to do here, 1 minute one way of just letting that shoulder go, and you can actively use your breath. So the exhale to try and let every little muscle tendon holding onto the shoulder to just relax. So even though this isn't the posture we want the shoulder to be held in, it's a good one to decompress and just take a little bit of load off those structures that may be irritated. After the minute, we're going back the other way, and as you can see, I'm using my body. So I'm swaying my body very lightly just to let that dangling arm make really small circles and just hang there freely. And often after this one, it will feel a little bit more free. I hope this was very beneficial for you guys today. Let me know in the comments section how you go. Remember that consistency is better than doing 1 or 2 sessions a week. So keep this consistent, add it in every day. If there is pain, stop one of the exercises that's causing the pain, but make sure you follow this, and changes happen slowly. So within that 6 to 8 weeks, we should start to get solid improvements. And from there, I really hope you can go back to the activities you love, pain-free. Enjoy guys, and I'll see you next week.